All right, Jeff here, and we are going to discuss the VA. Shocking. Let's get started. All right, VA. It launched a new review. Something it should have done, I don't know, 25 years ago. On the 21st of July. Today's the 23rd. As I'm recording this, 23rd. I'll release this today. Uh, they are still continuing with their goal of 30,000 cuts by the end of fiscal year 2025, but apparently they are pausing it. So this is based on my blog post, and I will post it in the description. The blog post also has links where I gathered all of my sources and all the information that I had, including from the GAO, news organizations, stuff like that. Okay. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jeff. I'm a veteran. I served in the war in Iraq from 2003 to 2004, the United States Army. I do a blog and a podcast called Veterans Perspective. And I just love the VA. I think the VA is the greatest, said no one ever. But so the VA has finally woken up a little bit. Okay. They are going to do what they deemed, or what they're calling, a department-wide mission, and I'm using quotes here, mission and structure review. They should do this every year, by the way, because every good organization would do this every year, because then you could figure out who's doing what, why are they doing what, how could you combine departments, where could you save, where could you expand to improve the care for veterans, because that's what it's all about, right? That's what it comes down to. The care, physical and mental care of veterans, compensation for veterans, right? Because there's two sides to the veteran, to the VA house, right? For those of you that don't know, it's the care side, the mental and physical care side over here, and then there's compensation and pension over here. Honestly, in my experience, and I can only speak to my experiences, right? My care side for mental health, I am rated for PTSD, among other things, right? But my big one is PTSD. I have my ups and downs. I have my terrible days. I have my good days, things like that. But the care I receive, my doctor, who I've had for over 10 years, has been awesome. That side of the house, I have no complaints about. It's the comp and pen side that we're going to discuss the most in this conversation that we're going to have. I would argue this is too little too late. So on July 21st, 2025, VA Chief of Staff, Secretary Christopher Sirek announced the agency is canceling mass layoffs, but will instead cut the original 30,000. So it didn't really cancel them. It was really poorly worded. By years in through attrition and voluntary programs. Okay. So it was supposed to be 80,000 originally. Okay. So that 80,000 RIFs, reduction in force. Okay. But that changed to 30,000, and that was just supposed to be mass layoffs. And then that moved to voluntary, and now, voluntary and attrition, and now, okay, we're canceling this. We're going to do this department-wide thing, and we're going to look at it from there. I don't know why we didn't start with department-wide mission plans and stuff like that, but whatever, right? This is what happens when you let non-veterans run the VA. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I know there's a lot of veterans in the VA. I get it, okay? But there ain't no way somebody sat down and made a plan and no one said, hey, let's do a departmental review. Because if no one said that, they all need to be fired. All of the upper brass needs to be fucking fired. Like, immediately fired. Okay? So they waited until the political pushback kicked in because these cuts pissed a lot of people off, even when it went from 80 to 30,000. Okay, it ticked a lot of people off, Republicans and Democrats, left and right. I don't give a shit about that. In terms of this, unions and Congress started screaming about it. The timing tells me, as someone who is educated in the political world, I have a master's degree in political science, right? Policy and procedures, one of my areas of expertise. This is about optics. They cared about how this looked, not about taking care of veterans. Like, okay, this looked bad. We need to back off a little bit. What about the employees who cash out? Okay. Thousands chose what they called Vera. Okay. It's basically their opt out, right? Their voluntary firing, I guess. It's a deferred resignation package, walking away with retirement benefits, cushy package, right? That most of them earned, right? Yeah, here's the kicker, right? So they're getting rid of all these employees, but nobody's filling those gaps. No one, right? We're seeing longer and longer wait times, literally longer and longer wait times, okay? Which is fucking wild, right? Whenever I call the VA now, it's a longer wait. When I'm making my appointments for, whatever it is, it could be my mental health care, it could be something else, right? I'm getting referred out to community care more than ever. For those of you that don't know, if you get a referral from your primary care doctor and the VA cannot fill that request within 90 days, they have to refer you to a civilian doctor. That's called community care. Okay? That is happening at an alarming rate. Why not just say, hey, veterans, you have access to any doctor you want in any network you want with your VA card, with your rating? Why do we, as veterans, have to go through the fucking hoops? Because there's paperwork that we got to fill out for that shit. And it's annoying. Let me tell you, it's annoying as fuck. And God help you if you have to go to urgent care or the emergency room that's not with the VA. God help you. That happened to me a few years back. I threw my back out really bad, and I had to go to the emergency room. It's urgent care, right? It wasn't an emergency room. I had to go to urgent care. It was like 2 a.m. And I ended up being there for like 4 or 5 hours. I got like 3 shots in my back. And I told them that I was a veteran, showed them my VA card. They're like, okay, cool. Yeah, I know we've done that before, yada, yada, yada. I called the number that you're supposed to call, told them, within the 72 hours, right? I'm sorry, 48 hours. I called and said, hey, this is what happened. This is where I was. Here's this, here's that. I have all the paperwork, yada, yada, yada. And they said, okay, cool. We got it all down. Yada, you're good. 4 months later, I get a bill for $4,800. $4,800. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? That's not just a staffing issue. It is, but it's also a structure issue, right? So shrinking staff doesn't always mean good, right? Looking at your structure is a good thing. So I am glad they're doing that. Okay. So for every employee that walked, there's a gap. Okay. There's also a lot of the employees at the VA are veterans. Okay. And I believe veterans should be taking care of veterans. Right? The VA needs to do a better job at hiring veterans. Period. Third-party reliability, and my veterans know that this is a fucking problem right here. Okay, and I'm not talking about community care with this one. Okay, because most community care doctors that I go to, they're pretty good. Pretty good. Like I go to one for my migraines. That guy's awesome. That guy's cool as shit. Right? So the third party, as I almost lose my game controller over here. Yes, I'm a gamer too. Follow me on Twitch, JeffAZ81. The third party one that I'm referring to the most here is compensation and pension exams, CMP exams. The VA refers them out to third party. That's fucking wild to me. First off, they seem to not give a shit about what your doctor at the VA has to say about you. They rely on another doctor who's never seen you before to give, after however long your meeting is. My last one was 45 minutes. I've had some as short as 10 minutes. To give one of the biggest deciding factors to your rater, which is your CMP exam. Some guy that you've never talked to, some gal that you've never talked to before in your life, ever, makes one of the biggest impacts on whether you get a rating or not, or you get a certain rating or not, who you've never fucking met, ever. That is absolutely fucking insane. And it always has been. Okay? Now, my first CMP exam was in-house with the VA, with someone at the VA who happened to be a veteran. That experience was vastly different than what I just had. For a claim that was denied, it's now an appeal for higher level review. Don't get me started on that. We'll leave that for another day. Okay? We'll leave that for another day. Vastly different. CMP exams being farmed out to third-party sources is a joke. It's a cost that doesn't need to exist. It's still a backlog. You still wait, right? The VA touts their record numbers of processed claims. I don't care how many are processed. How many are done right? How many are done right? Veterans are still reporting 40-minute wait times at the doctor, right? And that's okay. That's all right for a veteran. In the civilian world, people start getting mad after 10 minutes, let's be real. Veterans, we're all right with that. CMP exams are done by private contractors. Right now, they're done by private contractors, often with zero oversight. Okay? The system is designed to deny claims. Let's be real about it. So question, why not train competent, accountable, in-house VA examiners? It would reduce cost over time, prevent fraud or low-quality third-party exams, and keep veterans connected to one system. Because when you have to do a third-party CMP exam, you're now getting a phone call from a different company. You're getting an email from a different company where you have to sign up for a different dashboard. It's infuriating. It is infuriating. Third-party reliance means less accountability, not more, because you could also build functionality into the system. Rater reliability. Who's rating the rater? Who's rating the rater? Now my teacher voice came out. And my instructional coach voice came out. Who's rating the rater? Straight up IT failure. The next one here, IT failure, another bureaucratic joke. That's what I wrote in the blog post. I'll link the blogs in the description. Make sure you guys subscribe. It's free. I don't paywall my blogs. The VA's IT system is a mess. The one thing that they've done well is their app. The app is great. Okay, and I will say it's getting better. Okay, but it took them a long fucking time to get there. A long time. The GAO, Government Accountability Office, billions spent, still incomplete with their IT modernization. Okay. So what's the VA's response to this? To cut their IT staff by nearly 12% and hope automation fixes itself. Look, I love AI and automation. I'm all about it. All about it. But when your shit sucks, hire people that don't suck at that shit to fix it. Literally, hire people that don't suck at that shit to fix it. Because doing it this way is literally like defunding firefighters in a burning building. And then saying, well, we made a plan, we did something, as the building burns down and firefighters die. How they should fix it, realistically. If they want actual change, as my wife walks by looking sexy, yep, you're going to be on video. You're going to be on video. I'm not editing that out. How they should fix it. This is my suggestion, okay? Because I don't just come on here and complain, right? Because I will, right? Because I'm a veteran, right? That's what we fucking do, right? But I am going to give suggestions, okay? Replenish and train staff. Don't rely on attrition. Launch a massive retraining and hiring initiative prioritizing veteran hires, especially in claims processing, CMP, quality control, and IT. Bring CMP exams in-house. Set up a VA examiner corps, salaried, trained, accountable. Annual audits. I would say quarterly audits. 2. Veterans deserve exams rooted in trust, not profit margins. Modernize IT with oversight. Hire a dedicated CIO team answerable to Congress. You know that whole thing that's supposed to oversee that shit? Yeah, make them do something for once. Focus solely on health and benefits IT. Tie funding to milestone delivery, not bureaucratic timelines. Transparency and metrics. Monthly stats need to be published publicly. Monthly stats need to be published publicly. I'll say that for a third time. Monthly stats need to be published publicly. Call wait times, claims backlogs, exam denials, processing times. Hold leaders accountable. Do not just send memos. No more of that shit from the VA secretary. No more of that shit. We do not care about memos. Veteran voice and oversight. Embed veteran service reps in every VA center and regional office. Create an independent VA ombudsman who reports directly to Congress, not the VA secretary. There would be an independent third-party veteran organization that reports to Congress, not to the VA secretary. Final word. Again, a department-wide review is nice, right? Breaking down each department of the VA, it's nice. Okay? A $30,000 worker shrink sucks, but okay, right? Trump said from the very beginning he's trying to balance the budget, even though he spent more money than he saved. but fine. Okay, this is just another round of spin with fewer bodies, right? From 80,000 to 30,000, right? Again, who gets screwed? Taxpayers and veterans, right? You can't reshape a broken claim system by cutting people and outsourcing trust-heavy tasks. You don't modernize IT by firing tech teams. You do it by rebuilding from the inside out with clear goals, data-driven decisions, and veterans leading the charge. Last time I checked, the first word in VA is veteran. Veterans Affairs, right? So you're cool with us leading the charge into bullshit, wars that you start, but you're not cool with us leading the charge into making sure that we're taken care of after we come back from those wars, because we actually might fucking take care of each other. Come on now. I'm not saying the VA is beyond hope. Might be. It's still salvageable at this point. But right now, man, it's a boiler room that's leaking talent. Okay? Because there are some good people at the VA. I had friends that work at the VA that are afraid for their jobs. That shouldn't be. That are good people that want to help veterans. That don't deserve to be treated like this, but they also deserve a system that sets them up to help veterans. They deserve a system that holds them accountable, because they don't mind accountability because they're good at their jobs. Right? Either they do this right or don't fucking do it at all. Shut it down. Shut it down and farm the whole fucking thing out. Like I said earlier with community care. Just tell us we can show it with our VA ID card that shows a service connection disability. We go to any doctor in the country. Just do that. And let the civilian doctors figure it out. Good luck. Good luck with that. Good luck with private practice doctors figuring that shit out. So they're either going to do this right, or it's going to be another decade of broken promises and frustrated veterans. We're already frustrated. Okay? And no one, no matter where you stand on the political spectrum, should stand for that shit. All right, I've ranted, raved, and got pissed off about this enough. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What are some of your ideas to fix the VA? Should we burn that motherfucker to the ground? Metaphorically, YouTube, metaphorically. I'm not monetized yet. Also, get me monetized, people. God. Start following me and stuff, or whatever it takes. I don't know what it takes to get monetized anymore. I don't care. I make these for fun. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, share with all your friends. Make sure you guys subscribe to the blog in the description. Love you guys. Take it easy. See you guys next time.